Once again, I've took my eye off the ball and found myself in a subscription service nightmare. It's time to do another audit. If you're rocking with me, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so we can go ahead and go through this together. It is time to check my spending. The key here is discipline. See what's what. The subscription game that just got out of hand. And you can't blame anybody but yourself because you're not really watching what you're clicking on your phone and on your TV or on your computer until that bill hits and you're wondering why is my account off. Well, because all those onesie twosie things, those little $10 subscriptions here, $10 here, $20 there, they starting to add up. And it got to the point for me this month, despite every year going through the same process, looking at that account and then taking my eye off the ball, only to find out that I'm back over like $200 in subscription services. I'm one of those few people who still pay for their services. It ends today. There is a game that's being played on the American pocketbook and wallet that if you advertise a low price, you can actually get this consistent money, consistent revenue stream without doing anything else. And that's what's happening here. And I'm going to tell you a couple of things that just hit me, and just adding them up, it just didn't make any sense. Let's get into it right now. First thing you're going to need is that bank statement, that all powerful bank statement. Just look at those charges and see what's going on so you can identify the problem. With me, I use the computer. I don't wait for the mail. And then you have an option to search, depending on your bank, all the different types of transactions. You start noticing patterns, where you're spending your money, when you're spending your money, and then some things that you probably didn't notice. And that rude awakening came to me when a $60 charge for a um, Sam's Club membership kicked up. Yeah, $60. And I didn't even remember ever, getting a subscription, and it automatically hit my account. Why did that happen? Well, about a year ago, I got a bonus from one of the other apps that I use. This was Afterpay, and they gave me a $20 membership, annual membership, just for paying my bill on time. Right? All right, cool. Let's go to Sam's Club. Here's a problem. I don't live near a Sam's Club. I hadn't gone to a Sam's Club in the entire year. Despite the great offer, I went ahead, paid that $20. A year's passed. Happy birthday to me, and guess what? I'm out $60. I was so ticked off at that because that led to a cascade effect in your checking account. If you think you got a certain amount of money in there and you cutting it that close, this is how things happen. But it wasn't just this one. And this is why I am kind of kicking myself, because it all came down to discipline. And discipline is something that I have to work on, because I can get angry, but that's not solving the problem, is it? The thing that's going to solve the problem is taking action, identifying the problem, and then going ahead and have the discipline to shut it down. And that's what we're doing right now. So get that statement out and let's go down the list. And number 2, check on that discipline and see what you're going to start cutting. Now we're going to get into, the heart of it. I think companies prey on the fact that we look at these onesie twosies and just forget about it, set it and forget it. Well, it makes sense from a business model standpoint, but from a consumer standpoint, you're doing yourself a disservice. I went ahead and checked yet another streaming service. I'm paying like $10 a month for extra storage on Google. A lot of what I'm getting charged for are things that I don't really realize are coming out until they all come out at one time. So I had that going on, and then I noticed that I'm also paying $10 for a fan membership on Crunchyroll. Well, here's the problem with that. I have a mega fan account, and And that mega fan account is like $17, and it's coming out of my bank account. So I got 2 subscriptions. Wasn't even paying attention. A fan base and a mega fan. And the fan base was going through Google Pay, and I didn't even notice it. So that's an additional $120 that I paid in addition to what I'm paying for the mega fan. And they're both coming out. I thought it was, a glitch. And then I looked at that Google account thinking it was, hey, Crunchyroll is double dipping. No, not disciplined, not watching what's going on. You got money coming out of too many different accounts. So now it's coming out of the same pool, your paycheck or your earnings, but you're watching them come out at different times and different amounts. $17 here, $10 out of a Google auto pay. Messed up. So that's another savings of over $30 right there, just off of Google subscriptions. And I found another subscription. There's a Yuka app. That was only like $4 a year, but still, you're paying for stuff and you're not even paying attention. At the end of the year, think of what I could have did with that extra money if I just invested it or just didn't spend it at all. You are literally nickel and diming yourself out of existence, out of financial existence. And for me to be on this channel talking about, creating generational wealth, man, I'm creating generational debt because I'm not using my earnings the way they should be used. Services that I'm not even using, and it ticks me off because times have gotten hard, and as long as money was good, I didn't care. But when you start looking at it and you start getting angry at yourself because you are not paying attention to what you need to be paying attention to, yeah, it's ugly, and it's time to make changes. And those were the first 2 things I stopped altogether on that platform. And this is all Google. Another unfortunate reality is that software companies are no longer selling you the software. They're renting it to you, essentially providing you a subscription package that in some cases more than what the original packaging was when it first came out. Case in point, Photoshop has always been super, super expensive. If you really wanted a legit copy of Photoshop, you were paying $600 or more. It got up to $1,200 at one time for the Creative Suite. Now it's like $15.99 or so per month. The problem is with the advent of AI and some of the creative tools that you normally would reserve for people who are in that field, they're the only niche market that is really using it. For somebody like me who typically can create, but it's not everyday thing, I would just purchase it when I needed it. I don't need to keep paying you money, especially if I haven't used this thing in a month. It's just ridiculous. So you find yourself in this cycle of just cutting off applications. It's just getting to the point where if I'm spending more than $100 a month on tools for my small business and I'm not even getting any business, yeah, this is a waste of time, waste of money. It's time to cut it loose. Using a subscription-based model for one-time applications, to me, is just doing a disservice to the customers. And whether we're talking about Sony PlayStation 5 or 6, when it comes out, going to this model of just removing optical discs so you cannot own it anymore, this is a slap in the face to anybody who ever used software from your company. You're going to keep a forever payment plan on as long as you are alive if you ever want to use it. I don't like it. And especially if you're not using it, it's just not something that you should be keeping on the payroll, so to speak, coming out of your bank account. It's just not worth it. Kill it.